Right, in which case we will move back to item 4, which is the Harlow Council acquisition / compulsory purchase order for consideration by Cabinet. So if I propose that, I think Councillor Leppard, you're seconding that, yep. So just by way of introductions, there are a number of things to say, as you may expect. This is a very significant report, but I just want to be clear before we move into some of these things, what this report is actually doing and the question that Cabinet are being asked to agree to at the moment. The first thing to say is obviously this demonstrates the Council's direction and belief that we should take action to address a huge issue. What this report will not do, if you pass this, is compulsory purchase the land in question. That's not what this does. Actually, the recommendations are very, very clear. What we wish to do, what the Council wishes to do, is to acquire that site through a private treaty. That's what we will continue to intend to do. However, it does delegate the authority to commence the process of a compulsory purchase order if required. If we do take that path, it will come back for future consideration accordingly. So I wouldn't wish any member to be under any illusion as to what they're being asked to consider at the moment. But nevertheless, that does not detract from the magnitude of what this is about and the scale of work that goes into this. I should add, obviously the report is a part 1, a public report. The appendices are both confidential and therefore should be treated as such. If you wish to take that, we'd have to move into private session. But hopefully, given that we provided an all-member briefing on this report, you might not feel the need to do so. So as members are aware, the Council has a corporate mission to rebuild our town. We're making a lot of progress to that. I think our action is pretty clear to that regard. However, there is a large 4-acre site in the middle of that, which is in a deplorable state. And as the report sets out, we do not believe the owner of that site will progress with their scheme, and therefore the Council is not prepared to allow that to continue, and therefore we wish to acquire the site and to deliver it accordingly. The first question I'm sure some may ask is, should this have been done sooner? My answer to you would be, it couldn't be. As the report sets out, we believe we have been through an extensive process with the landowner, not just in terms of their management of the site and the legal notices that we've served. I know some people believe that the Council has powers that it doesn't. We have followed all legal process to do everything possible to compel the landowner to deal with the management of the site. But more importantly, the strategic question about the regeneration of that area, we again have gone through an extensive process as the report sets out, which is why what we are asking is to receive the authority to do that. But if we are not able to do so, then to move forward with the compulsory purchase order and the process for that. So I hope this makes very, very clear the ambition that we have to address this matter, to fully deliver our comprehensive regeneration of the town centre accordingly. I think this is pretty bold action for the Council to take accordingly. And I genuinely want to thank not just our own officers who have been working hard on this for a very long time, but also the expert advisors we have to get us to this point accordingly. So with that, are there any questions? Councillor Durkin?
Yes, Chair. Can I just ask, whilst I fully endorse and support the idea, and if I was sitting where you were sitting, I would be probably making the same report, but can I ask, why have they failed? Because they came with so much glamour, glitz, etc., telling us about Strawberry, Stevenage and other areas. We have got really talented regeneration officers, one is sitting next to you, and finance officers. So can you explain to the public, and in the best way you can, why has this been sitting there for so long, and why has it come to such a failure? Thank you.
Yeah, and I genuinely appreciate the spirit of the question. I can't comment on why a private organisation chooses to do something, isn't able to do something, doesn't do something, promises to do something and doesn't do it. I think as the report sets out, there are evident challenges in viability and build cost and, all sorts of things that the macroeconomic picture we are well aware of. But in direct answer to your question, I can't tell people why a private business has not done what they promised to do. Yep.
Can I just come back on that particular issue? If someone with such a strong reputation has failed in being able to deliver this, how confident are we as a council, through the risk assessment, that we're going to be successful?
And that is a very good question. I'm absolutely confident. Otherwise, obviously, we wouldn't be doing this. I'm absolutely confident about the way forward. If, as and when, I'm very confident we will acquire this, subject to your agreement, that we will succeed because we will take a completely different approach. Obviously, we're in a very different situation to the freeholder. I think our ability to deliver such schemes is evident now, and therefore I'm absolutely confident with the path that we're set out, as our officers are and our advisors are as well. Councillor Mullard-Toll.
Thank you, Chair. Your 6 missions, one being rebuild our town. This feels very much that sits in that mission. Would you say the acquisition of this land through compulsory purchase order, if that's the route it goes down, is integral to mission 3, rebuilding our town?
Yes. Councillor Gunn.
Thank you. And I note in paragraph 20 of the paper, it says the council has worked to support the freeholder to enable the consented redevelopments to proceed, which clearly hasn't happened. But are we satisfied that we've tried everything that we can prior to getting to this step? Is the report comprehensive on all the efforts that we've put in to prevent us getting to this situation?
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. I think we have, worked extensively to enable that to happen. Like I say, a private business came forward, secured planning consent for a very comprehensive scheme to regenerate this area. We have done everything since to both enable that redevelopment to happen, to force the landowner to deal with the management of the site, which, as the report states, has been deplorable. But more importantly, to ensure that we see the outcome that we desire to see. We have done everything we can to that regard. I am far more confident that as a council we are able to deliver those things, and that's why we're proposing to do this. But in terms of have we exhausted all avenues, as it were, yes, I absolutely believe we have. Further questions? Councillor Howard.
Just following on from Councillor Gunn's, in paragraph 22 it says the owner formally rejected the offer on the 17th February, responding that they intend to carry out development of the site in accordance with its planning permission. Have they actually given any indication, it might be a bit, I know you can't answer too much, but have they given any indication of when they plan to carry out this work? They're obviously clearly saying they're going to, or purporting to say that they're going to carry out the work here, but have they given an indication of when that's going to begin, because that will steer us to where we need to be. By the way, this is absolutely fine, that part of town is absolutely deplorable, but I think we need to really bottom it down. If they're saying they're going to do something, when are they going to start?
Yeah, well, I think the first thing I would say is about our confidence in that happening. They've said they will do a number of things, and I think everyone would probably in agreement they haven't done those things. But I think what the confidential appendices set out, without getting into the detail of them, is that we do not believe they have the ability to do those things, even if they desire. Councillor Morrison.
Thank you. We discussed this, was it a fortnight ago? I'm not too sure. The weeks are blurring into one another. Around about a fortnight ago, we had a briefing during which we discussed the various issues and the options that might be available. We talked about these same points during that briefing. So what progress has been made since then? You referred to the amount of work that has already been devoted to this by officers, and I don't doubt that for a moment. And I know we all understand the reasons for this. Something has to give, something has to happen. So, well, maybe James is going to tell us the answer to my question.
Yes, thank you. So it's a slightly difficult question to deal with because obviously the nature of those conversations and progress that is being made is commercially sensitive and sort of confidential to that regard. But the assurance I can give you is that progress is being made. And I am confident that should this be agreed, that would significantly aid that progress accordingly. Further questions? Yeah, Councillor Shaw.
Thank you, Chair. Obviously, a number of councillors attended the briefing session, and a number of those questions have been aired in a public setting. So I think it's important to ask this question again in a public setting so that the public are reassured that all angles are being pursued by this council. The focus is on the public interest test. Now, of course, in the confidential papers, which we are trying to avoid going into, extensive work has already been undertaken by this council to prepare that case. Can you reassure the residents, as leader of the council, that the preparations for the public interest case are already in train and prepared in the event that we have to take further legal action?
Yeah, thank you, and that's a very good question. Yes, I can, absolutely. I think there's, hopefully the report sets out, but to embellish a tad, is that we, you know, as is detailed, particularly in the appendices, extensive work has been going on for a while with a lot of expert people. And therefore, I'm absolutely confident that were we to enter that situation, we would be successful, thanks to the work that's been done. And I should add that following the publication of the report, we have received communication from the landowner, and we have responded to that communication accordingly, and that members should be assured of that as well. Any further questions? Yeah, Councillor Roberts.
I wonder if you could just briefly go through some of the issues that the council has had to face over the years, whether it be in terms of rubbish, whether it be in terms of the securing of the properties, whether it be in terms of the derelict state that the properties are in. And because as far as I'm aware, this goes back at least 8 years, when planning permissions have been given, and they've not just been given on one occasion. Planning permissions have been given on, I think it's at least 3 occasions now, if not 4. And throughout that time, there's been various promises made, whilst at the same time, there's clear evidence that the place has not been secured properly, that there's been clear evidence that it hasn't been, it certainly hasn't, let's say, things like rubbish and things like that have been allowed to accumulate, and when they've been in the numerous occasions. So just for the record, I think if you could take us through that bit would be helpful.
I think in asking your question, you've both answered it and put those things on the record. So I endorse all of those things. As the report sets out, there's been a number of challenges, which you've just very ably listed accordingly. Any further questions? No. Any comments?
I think it'd be amiss to not mention a member of the public who has single-handedly talked about this site time and time again, and she is sat in the public gallery tonight and constantly talking about the dereliction of this site that was left. But this side of the chamber will always welcome this, and we welcome the work that the administration is doing around this. This is a cornerstone of the redevelopment of the town, and anything that this side can do in aiding the purchase of this building and developing that side of the town that has been left for far too long. The envy of, like, the water gardens is so much better than that side. No one goes down there. It is derelict. We will always welcome the redevelopment, and please let us know how we can help as an opposition.
Thank you. I think voting it through will certainly aid that. Any further comments? Councillor Shepherd.
Just to echo the words of my colleagues, Councillor Molotov and Councillor Durkin, and say that the motto of this town is in common endeavour, and it is without doubt a cross-party consensus that we will regenerate our town, and this council is to be commended for bringing forward this report to Cabinet. So very well done. Bravo.
Thank you. Any further? Yeah, Councillor Lepard.
Thank you, Chair, or Leader. I acknowledge the comments of our colleagues opposite. It's true, this has had several planning permissions which date back, a good number of years. And I think it's fair to say both administrations have never but given encouragement to Strawberry Star to get on with their developments. There's never been impediments. And the reason why they don't do it is not really for us to discuss. The fact is, we have a plan and we need to get on with it. We can't allow this to delay for any longer.
Thank you. Any further comments? No, in which case, if we move to the recommendations as set out on page 2 and 3, are they agreed by the Cabinet? Agreed. Good.